Welcome to the Collective Mindset Podcast. This is episode 4.
Oh,
I'm Gavin.
I'm Jordan.
This is Jordan. And today we kind of wanted to get a little bit more in the dirt, as we say, about what we're doing, what we've done, kind of what that process looks like. I don't know how interesting this is to normal people, maybe, but I think other mortgage industry people might find it interesting, and maybe just people who have started a business before. But wanted to talk a little bit about what we've done the last few weeks and kind of what led up to this. So my first question here for Jordan might just be is why start a brokerage rather than maybe just join another company or fix some things with our company?
Yeah, that's great. And so part of our intention of doing this podcast and stuff is to create this roadmap of how to go from a mortgage banker into the mortgage broker world, how to, take control of your future, so to speak, become an entrepreneur and grow a business. The interesting thing about a mortgage business is that you really own your own business. You are your own brand, unless you're a guy that gets leads or something provided by a company. Most of us it's through relationships that we have and we've created.
Yeah.
And you're either using like a franchise model, which would be going through a mortgage bank, which I did for about 20 years, which is great. Or you're a mortgage brokerage, which we have wholesale relationships, but it gives us the opportunity to own it, set our own rates, our own compensation plan, have our own marketing and marketing channels and stuff like that. So that didn't exactly answer your question.
You're getting there.
But I wanted to set that table, I guess, in some regard.
So obviously we were mortgage bankers.
Right.
So why don't you tell the viewers here or the listeners why the switch to a broker, why the switch to our own company versus maybe just, if we were unhappy with our current company, fixing it there or jumping to a new mortgage banker. Why is this a better path?
Yeah, let me settle a couple of things. Like, I don't think that necessarily where we were previously that we had something wrong per se. We were actually highly effective, highly efficient. We felt we had competitive rates and everything I think worked well. But in the big picture, as far as kind of what we want to, and if you follow this journey and you're now landing on episode 4, you've heard us talk about intentionality, things like that. So there's just, when it comes to owning your own business, mortgage brokerage, whatever it is, yes, there's so much more required from you, but there also gives you so much more license to build and to create. And so the why for Gavin and I was more like, we want to build something great. And if it's not your name on the lease and it's not your name on the building, sometimes it just doesn't feel like you're building something for yourself. And we want to build, empire is probably the wrong word, but we want to.
Or is it?
Yeah, or is it, right? We want to create businesses, so to speak, but this business in particular, the mortgage business, we want to grow and build it and have it something that in 10, 20 years, when we decide we want to retire or transition into a different business, that the business that we own and we built and created can still operate, can be sold, can have many, many kind of exit strategies, so to speak.
I love that. I think the part of the reason why I thought, why I started thinking this way was, man, I just have got to know people who have sold companies, right? They've done all this work, they put in all this effort, they bled, they sweat, they worked their buns off to build this awesome company, and then they sold it, and they had a great, a windfall of cash or an event in their life that set them up for what's next.
Mm-hmm.
And in the mortgage world, it's just not like that. It's just, what'd you close this month and what are you closing next month?
Yeah.
And so
really hard, really stressful.
Yeah. And so, you think about like insurance guys, they build a book of business, right? And you can buy into it or you can sell it off to another agent. And I think that's the path that my wheels started turning on, which is like, how do we build a book of business, or how do we build a mortgage system that has equity in it at the end, mm-hmm. right? So after we work for the next 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, that there's a big chunk of equity. All of our effort is in there rather than just trying to bilk all the cash out of it while we're closing those loans. we get to maybe leave some of that money in there, reinvest, grow, use that to create a system that then has value.
Yeah.
That we can put someone in charge to help run it, do the operations, train, sales team, whatever it may be. And now we've got something that's got value to the next guy.
Yeah, let me talk about this approach too. So if any of you have done a loan with me in the past, you probably heard me say in our initial conversation that my goal is to have you be a client for life and to be like a friend, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that really like stuck out to me when I was making this transition is the lending institution that I was affiliated with prior to this. In their mind and their eyes, that book of business is theirs. It's not mine.
Yeah.
Like that's how kind of insane that is. And so it's like, when I'm going out there and it's my relationships, it's my network, and they're my loans that I'm doing and I'm building it. So I'm speaking to any other loan officer out there, unless you're in a transactional base, like you just want the transactions. Like me, yeah, of course I want the transactions. I want to do loans, but I really want the client. Like I want that relationship. I want that friendship. I want that person to come back to me 5 times in their lifetime and then refer their kids and their cousins. Like That's how we grow our business, and that's how I treat my business. And so since it's always been my business, I'm like, why don't I own the brick and mortar piece of it and the equity piece of it, like what Gavin's saying. So if you're a loan officer and you're watching this, hopefully you'll follow this journey and we can give you some tips or whatever on like the do's and don'ts. Like we by no means profess to be experts at what we're doing. We just have the desire and the willingness and the intention and the ability to execute. So we're going out and we're going to do those things, and we're going to create this mortgage company. So I'm super excited about what it's going to create, but it's going to allow me to really bring my clients into the Mortgage Collective family. And we'll get into like what that means, what the collective network is, and the other benefits we're going to add to our clients. But just from the sake of like a business, like now it's truly our business that we could at later date, sell or transition into something else where you don't have that opportunity if you don't own it.
Yeah. I love all of that. I think that just like you said, right, we're doing loans for friends, for family, for clients that we want them to come back. We want to work with them again. We want them to refer their family and friends and even like realtors. We want them to have a good experience so that they want to refer their next client to us. Like all of these things, roll into what we're trying to do. In the banking world, right, they always say like, oh, it's not about rate, it's about service, right? And they choose to work with you because you're so great. But yet our systems sometimes felt a little clunky, a little slow, a little unadaptable. And I felt at times we had to plug our clients into that and make them fit. And I think that, by being a brokerage, we get to build it out however we want. We get to offer value in any way we decide, right? Mm-hmm. And so that can be in, part of that's going to be better rates.
Yeah.
Part of that's going to be better service, but also part of that's going to be additional value add things that are going to help people buying homes, help them have a better experience, help them avoid those pitfalls. And we have that free license to create that here where we wouldn't have had that elsewhere. So I think that's, the baseline of why a brokerage. Mm-hmm. What do you have to say about kind of how that process looks? I know we don't want to go super long today, but what does that process look? What has it looked like for us just getting that brokerage set up, and what have we done so far?
I mean, the first thing was, you got to file your paperwork with the states and form an LLC, get that started. That process is actually pretty simple depending on the state that you're in. So we executed on that right away. The rest of it's kind of getting your ducks in a row as far as, identifying maybe some wholesale companies that you're going to work with, getting to find out what they need, working with the NMLS, government agencies and their websites and everything like that are always a real joy to work with, high functioning stuff there. But actually the folks over at the NMLS were pretty helpful.
They were.
State of Arizona was great. Well, shout out to you guys.
Shout out to State of Arizona. How's Utah doing?
Yeah, we won't go there, but the state of Arizona, hey, I mean, we filed our paperwork, which was that took some time.
Yeah.
But no kidding, guys. The next day we got an approval roll in. It was a straight miracle. Like
It really was.
literally, like we told our company that we were going to leave. The very next day we then filed our paperwork, and the next day following, before the end of the business day, we were approved to do business.
Yeah.
Which is pretty unheard of, but I think that also speaks to maybe how Gavin and I put things together to make sure that our stuff was dialed in and done accurately. So we really had no downtime, which was great, at least here in the state of Arizona. So
yeah,
that was fun. So I mean, now we're just building out our portfolio of wholesale lenders. There's so many out there. It's crazy.
Hundreds and hundreds.
So it's a matter of just kind of identifying who you want to work with, who has the right programs, etc. And that's kind of the process we're in right now.
Yeah. So we've got applications in we're approved with one, should be approved any minute here with the second. We're approved with the second one. We've got a couple more applications in now. So we're going to add those. We want various options for pricing, various options for just different types of loans, different client profiles. And then again, as you find awesome products, you might go and seek those wholesale lenders out that we can add. But I think we're about 2 weeks into it now. We've done a lot of admin, right? We've been getting things set up, getting systems set up. I've never printed and signed so many papers in my life. I'm tired of it. But I think right now, next week, maybe into the following weeks, we're going to be able to start doing a little more marketing, a little more, maybe email campaigns, reaching out to people, talking to past clients, kind of start plugging in and sharing more about the collective network side of things. And is there any part of that you're super excited about?
All of it. I mean, my personality, my nature, I love to network. I like to get out. This administrative side of things has never been my favorite. Thankfully, Gavin doesn't mind it as
I hate it. I'll just do it.
He tolerates it more than I do, but yeah, and we're super excited. Like, obviously part of it's like creating the structure, sure, but what we really want to document is some of the strategies that we're going to implement. I mean, I don't think we're going to give up exactly our secret sauce of strategy, but we do want to kind of go in and say, hey, these are some intentions. We're going to do this next week. Watch what happens as we grow this business. I mean, our intention is to create it a $100 million in annual funded revenue within the first 24 months. So that is intentional. It's going to be done on purpose, and we are going to go with that growth mindset and that goal. I mean, our belief is that we'll crush that. We need a little bit of help from the Fed and the market. They're not helping us out. They raised rates another 0.25% today, but mortgage-backed securities dipped a little bit,
which is good.
Improved for us a little bit, but let's just get rates lower. Let's get more people back in the market, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Cool. Well, excited to keep sharing with you guys. Kind of walk you along in that process. I think Jordan, he's really bought into his routine in fitness, and he's been kicking butt and taking names doing that for the last few months. I think we're going to do a few things like that, where maybe we do some a Spartan race.
That'd be fun.
We'll do some who can put on the most weight in 30 days. We'll do what do they call it? The fit to fat to fit challenge.
No, I'm not going to do that.
And we're going to do that. We're going to see who can.
You don't dare do that in your mid-40s. I tell you what, you might not get back up.
You just fit to fat.
Yeah, might not.
No, but we're going to, I think, share just some of the things we're doing, whether it's in business, whether it's in our family life, whether it's in fitness, whatever it may be. We want to share that with you guys, and appreciate you letting us tell you a little bit about what we've been up to lately. And anything else, Jordan?
No. Yeah, just obviously, if you have mortgage-related questions, let us know. Life questions, we'll dive into that. Every one of these podcasts will be a little bit different, but we'll promise it won't get boring. Hopefully not. And if this was boring, let us know and say, hey guys, that was kind of boring. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
But the idea is we're trying to help people understand that, there's a term out there called brokers are better, and we are determined to find that out. I definitely believe it will be, and I know owning my own company and being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
It's always been in my blood. I've started a number of companies in my day. They all haven't been raging successes. I've had a few that have been, but I've also had some that were terrible failures, and I lost, wasted time and money. So It'll be awesome to see. I believe this one will be a huge success. So stick around.
Exactly. Love it. Thanks, guys.